Hey guys, it's Worm here, and we're gonna have a wee bit of an elitist conversation today in regards to the Godslayer title, aka the title that you get for completing all the triumphs in the champion seal. Which, my opinion, full disclosure, they're really not that hard. Again, sorry that sounds elitist because I know there are people that are still struggling on them, but I've come across several people debating on Twitter and Reddit and other social media, and they're complaining that the Godslayer title is not rare enough. They're complaining that now too many people have it. It's you know, less rare than things like Swordbearer from Crota's End and Kingslayer from the King's Fall raid and stuff like that. And people are just, they seem legitimately upset that it's no longer a rare title. Now, first things first, I want to point out here, it is still a rare title. I don't know what y'all are on about. Literally, like, less than 1% of the population has the Godslayer title in Destiny 2. Okay, so knock all that business off. That's not even like a thing to be worried about anymore. But at the same time, like, I think we should take a look at what the seal actually entails for these different raids, because that's a huge portion of why the Godslayer title is more common or less rare than some of these other titles. And I think that a lot of players, they feel that Godslayer is meant to be like the pinnacle, like hardest title to achieve. Guys, I have a spoiler for you. I don't think that any titles are really hard. I think, honestly, actually, I think the flawless title is probably one of the hardest titles to achieve. Like, if I'm being straight honest with you, you have to go flawless, which most people can't go flawless. But even if you have, you know, Passage of Mercy, stuff like that, you also have to carry people to flawless. Flawless is a wildly difficult seal to obtain. Now, outside of PvP, there are some seals that are more difficult. Like, you have your seal tier list, I guess, or your title tier list, which is things like, you know, Deadeye is at the bottom, Dredgen is at the bottom, because both of those are pretty easy to complete. And as it goes up, then you get to things like the raid titles, you know, Swordbearer, Kingslayer, Enlightened, stuff like that. But really, none of these titles are hard. And I don't think Bungie meant for them to be hard. I think what Bungie meant for titles to be is a mastery over X content, you know, a mastery over Crota's End. Now, we are going to talk about mastery in just a little bit, but going back to the Godslayer title is a, you know, supposed to be a mastery over this Pantheon activity. Now, first of all, mind you, Bungie added this probably last minute. I mean, if we're being completely honest with ourselves, like, Final Shape was, you know, the pre-orders for Final Shape were just dropping off like flies. They had to do something. They had to extend that time because they wanted to add some good stuff to the Final Shape to bring hype for it. So they kind of just added Pantheon. So the likelihood that these triumphs for Pantheon were just kind of added in as, hey, go complete this, get a score of this, like blah, blah, blah. Like, that was probably the honest reason why it was easy to do. Okay, because literally all you have to do is beat all the 4 weeks of Pantheon. That's it. With a high score, which, guys, I'll be honest, I have yet to encounter a team that isn't going for the high score. High score being 500k, not platinum. I know a lot of people are saying I'm going for platinum. You need to get 500,000 score on each encounter in order to get that, you know, to get that title. And I have not encountered a single team that doesn't go for the 500k. Not only that, pardon me, but I also have yet to encounter a team that has substantially struggled. Like, I see screenshots of people who finally finished Pantheon like 8, 9, 10 hours later. There was one I saw that was literally, it lasted for 32 hours. Like, it was a 1,927 minutes. Like, guys, that's ridiculous. First of all, I would not sit in a raid for that long. I don't care how easy or hard it is. Like, that's just that's wild to take that long. But you know, again, is this kind of an elitist side? Yeah, I guess you could say that. You know, like, if I get into a raid group and the people are, you know, showing me signs that they're not capable of progressing far into the raid, if they're struggling on, like, you know, the caretaker or on planets, typically I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna find another team that is actually going to be able to achieve that goal. And maybe that's just me. I know that, you know, a lot of players, they're really kind-hearted and they really want to stick with the same team because they just have faith, like, we're gonna get it. And yeah, you'll get it eventually, but 32 hours later, that ain't it for me personally. But I think I'm going off on a tangent here. Look, back to the Godslayer title. All you have to do is beat each Pantheon with a high score, which, like I said, is not that difficult. And players are complaining that Godslayer should be a rare title. No, I mean, first of all, it is a rare title, but they should say it should be one of the rarest titles, if not the rarest title. No, it should not. Have you seen some of the challenges for like Crota's Inn? Like Crota's Inn, for example, you have to beat regular mode, you have to beat the master mode, you have to do it with all titans, you have to do it with all void, you have to do all the challenges. Like it takes a ridiculously long time. And honestly, like I feel like a lot of these raid seals, you know, and their associated titles, it's not so much about like mastery over the content as it is just putting in the time and effort. And Pantheon and the Godslayer title are a really nice change of pace, because it's not all about, oh, well, yo, do it with all warlocks, do it with all void, do it with all arc, do it without anybody dying, you know, which I know that's not a part of the title anymore. But all, you know, it's nice to just have, hey, just do this. If you can do it, you get a really cool title. And I think that Destiny needs more titles like Godslayer. Like, don't get me wrong, again, the raid titles, like, you know, props to you if you have Swordbearer. I think Swordbearer is currently the rarest title in the game, next to maybe like one of the Sunset titles, like maybe like Chronicler or something like that, you know. But Swordbearer, just as an example here, is a very rare title. Like, if you have that title, wear it with pride, because it shows that you not only have a mastery over Crota's Inn, but you took the time to invest in Crota's Inn. Like, in order to get that title, like, unless you do, like, if you don't do multiple of the same triumphs in one raid, like, you're looking at doing the raid like 20 times or something like that, which is a lot of times to do a raid. And especially like if you're lucky with your drops, like you probably have already gotten all of your crafted weapons in that 20 runs. You've probably got, of course, the full armor set. You've probably got some god rolls. You've probably got the exotic by 20 runs, yet you still haven't got the title. So props to you if you have grinded it out. Godslayer should not be this ultra rare title that only 0.0001% of the population has. Like, I think, if I'm not even mistaken, it's still like currently less than 100,000 people have the title out of what is it? I think like 75 million total Destiny players, like lifetime Destiny players. I think active players like 3 million. Like, less than 100,000 out of 3 million is still ultra rare. Like, yeah, you know what I mean? And I think that's another thing that leads to players feeling it's not rare is, you know, the lobby balancing and matchmaking and stuff like that. Like, mind you, if you're playing at 1830, 1840 power level in, like, say, a Nightfall, just match made Nightfall, you're not going to be matching with level 4s and 5s that don't have any titles. Like, you're going to be matching with level 11s, because those Nightfalls, they match based off your power. Now, if you go in and you put on, say, a 1600 helmet, just for an example, and your power level is dropped substantially, you're going to start noticing you don't have level 9s, 10s, and 11s in your lobbies. You now have level 5s and 6s. You have people that have substantially less time in the game, people who don't build craft in the game at all. And if you play like that more casual level, you'll start to notice that Godslayer is a very rare title. In fact, I've been counting every time I go to the tower, I look and I see, okay, how many other players in the tower have Godslayer? So far, I've found 2 other people that have the Godslayer title in the tower. Okay, and the tower is matchmaking across the board. Like, you'll have level 1s in there. Guardian rank 1s in there. You'll have Guardian rank 11s in there. You have everybody under the sun. And I have only encountered 1 since the entirety of last week up to last night. So, like, it's a super rare title. Players that are sitting here saying it should be the ultra rare, I definitely don't think so. Like, considering all you have to do is literally beat Pantheon with a high score, like that's it. That is the entire requirement, you know? And I know the players are complaining about the fact that, well, there's cheeses that exist. You know, you can cheese Rolk, you can cheese Nezarec, you can cheese blah, blah, blah. Like, guys, the unfortunate reality is cheese is going to exist no matter what, number 1. But number 2, like, how many players do you think are actually actually getting their titles because they did the cheese? Like, I guarantee you it's like none. When the first time I killed Rolk and the second time I killed Rolk for week 3 and 4, I killed him legit, and it was hard. It was very, very difficult. Rolk is, in my opinion, probably the hardest boss fight in the game, just because of how small of an area you have, and you've got Shadow Rolk walking around and stuff like that. But like, I know that he was, I wish I had stats on how many times he was actually cheesed, and I cheesed him too. I was trying to farm for some spoils, And so I just hop in teams. We'd say, hey, we're going to cheese Rolk. I mean, cheesing Rolk, you can get it down to a science according to Cheese Forever. You can stand in a certain spot and he'll yeet himself off the map. It's a super fast way to grind for spoils. But, you know, lots of people were saying, oh, it's not fair that, you know, Rolk was cheesable. Guys, spoiler alert, Rolk has probably been cheesable since Vow of the Disciple dropped. Like the Rolk cheese, I would put money on it. It's nothing new. They haven't changed Vow of Disciple. It's not like they changed the bounding box of the, you know, the arena or anything like that. Like I guarantee he's been cheesable. I guarantee there's been people cheesing him since the Witch Queen dropped. And they just don't talk about it, right? So, you know, if you're arguing that, oh, well, like cheesing is, you know, not the real way of getting it, like guess what? Who's gonna know? If you have Godslayer title, seriously, if you have the Godslayer title, I want you to go down there and answer in the comments. Like, did you get your Godslayer title because of cheesing, or did you get it the fully legit way? Okay, and I'm not going to judge you, because guess what? If you're in there, even if you cheese it, like that still shows that you got through all the mechanics of the boss fight. You know, if you cheese Rolk, you still got through all the, you know, all the symbols. You know, you still got your glyph keepers killed. You still got, you know, the leeching and the emanating force. Like, you know how to do the fight. Like, I don't care if you cheese it. I don't care if you go off on Nezarec and go in the what is it, the back right corner and drop off on that little branch, or if you go all the way far off to the left side and cheese him. I don't care, because the number of players that are like taking time to get him, like to get the thing cheesed, is about the same as the number of players that are beating it. Not only that, but in my experience with cheesing stuff, because like when Crota was solo cheesable, right? He might still be, I don't really know, but when Crota was able to be cheesed solo by doing the finisher thing and yeeting him off the map, I did it, and I sat there. I literally sat in that raid for 2 hours, 2 or 3 hours. I think it was like 2 or 3 hours trying to get him cheesed, just so I could say I soloed Crota. Is it efficient? Absolutely not. And the same thing with Rolk. Like, how many teams do you think sat on Rolk for hours and hours trying to cheese him when they could have done it just legit and got it out of the way in 6 minutes? Right? Because like Rolk is not a long boss fight. Like every boss fight in the Pantheon, in order to get the platinum / high score, you have to beat it in 1 or 2 phases. How difficult is Rolk to kill in 2 phases? Not very difficult in my opinion, but still, you have people that are sitting there cheesing. Like, you're just wasting your own time. And I guarantee you there's players that are still trying to cheese Rolk that don't have the Godslayer title. They're trying to get the Godslayer title, and they're sitting there trying to cheese him. But you know, again, I think I'm off on a tangent here. The point is, I don't think the Godslayer title was meant to be this rare or prestigious title. I think it's meant to be a limited time title for players who like have substantial time to invest in the game. Okay, like, yeah, I'm sure there are Guardian rank 6s and 7s that are trying to get the Godslayer title. Like, I'm sure that is a thing, but I think that the reality is most Destiny players aren't even going to attempt Pantheon. They're not even going to attempt to get the Godslayer title, because it's not worth their time. Like, it's still going to be a rare title, but it's not as difficult to obtain as some of these other raid titles. And again, because these other raid titles, they are just ridiculously long to get. Doing a fire team of all void, then all art, all solo, then all solar, sorry, not solo, all solar, you know, then doing the challenges. Like, they take a long time to get these raid titles, and Pantheon does not take that. Now, I think that Destiny could do with some more prestigious titles that are quick and easy to get. You know, Pantheon, the Godslayer titles is an example of that. Like, literally, like we said, all you got to do is beat it with a high score. I like that. I like how easy it was to get the title. You know, it was we had a short time frame. Sorry, we had 5 weeks. I think by the time Lightfall drops, it'll have been 5 weeks, and that's all the time you get to get the Godslayer title. Then it's gone. 5 weeks to do some relatively easy challenges. I think that Destiny needs more stuff like this. You know, have a new raid title with a new Final Shape raid that's, you know, if you beat it in, you know, the first 3 weeks of it coming out, and you do, you know, beat it with a high score or whatever in the first 3 weeks that it comes out, you get a special title. Like, I would love to see more stuff like that. Titles that are prestigious, they're difficult to achieve, but not time consuming difficult. Like, difficulty in terms of actual content, not so much the time consumption, because that's what the current raid titles have. That's what Swordbearer, Kingslayer, stuff like that, that's what they have. They have a time consumption difficulty, you know, level, versus Godslayer and Pantheon, which is more of an actual difficulty based level. And it's funny because I see people say more people have the Godslayer title than Kingslayer. Guys, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't have Kingslayer. You really think I want to sit here and grind Kingsfall for all Void, all Solar, all Arc, all the challenges? Like, that just sounds like a slog that I don't want to do. And then you got to find like-minded people that are also down to do that, and people who can run it efficiently, blah, blah, blah. Like, if I ever found a team that could clear an entire run of a raid in like 20 to 30 minutes, I would 100% be down to try to grind a title out with them. But right now, like, the time consumption, I'm not about to do it. It's not fun. And Pantheon didn't have that. Pantheon said, hey, if you've got an hour and a half a week, that's it, like an hour and a half a week, you can get this title in 4 weeks. Anyways, that's it. It's been 15 minutes. I'm kind of ranted forever about Godslayer title, but I want to hear your thoughts. Do you think Godslayer title should be rarer? Do you think it should be the most rare title in the game, or do you think that's fine where it is? Like, do you think it's gonna end up being like a pretty common title? Because I've heard some people say it's going to be common. I don't think it's going to be common because, again, week 4, like killing Nezarec, actually Riven was easy. We one phase Riven, but killing Nezarec was difficult. Killing Rolk on week 4 was difficult. I would say those are the two most difficult encounters, but never mind that. But yeah, just tell me your thoughts on the description, in the comments below. Of course, if you like today's video, do me a favor, drop a like, helps the channel out a lot. Subscribe for more daily Destiny content. And guys, do me a favor, watch the videos you see here on the end screen, because for whatever reason, YouTube thinks that you will like them. I will see y'all tomorrow. Bye for now, guys.